let's talk about Twitch VODs and Clips for a minute, right? Like, if you sit here for this whole talk, you're gonna completely understand why this is ridiculous, because I'm gonna explain it point by point. Let's go over what happened. The RIAA developed a program to basically scan clips and VODs, and they found 2 songs, I think, and then they issued DMCA requests to a massive amount of streamers all at once that played those songs, okay? And then the streamers went into Twitch, and they asked Twitch what to do about their strikes, and Twitch said, you should delete all your VODs and all of your clips. Twitch literally said this. Both an account manager said this, and Twitch support said this on Twitter. So then everybody goes into their clips, and they try to delete their clips, only to find out that the database doesn't even let you delete clips that are older than a year. and the RIAA DMCA people all the way back to 2017. So these people are literally fucked. So what they have to do is they have to go onto via these like third parties, and they have to delete all of their VODs and all of their clips. Okay, if you are deleting all of your VODs and all of your clips, stop it. Stop doing that. Stop it right now. It's so dumb. Okay. Let's talk about right now how DMCAs work. Okay, for a DMCA to happen, when somebody issues a DMCA, in order for Twitch to stay within safe harbor, they have to remove the clip or VOD themselves. Okay, so when someone DMCAs you, Twitch will remove that VOD and clip for you. You don't need to go delete all your fucking VODs because you aren't sure where to get the strikes from. It's so dumb. It's not something you need to do. Okay, and the only way that I'm gonna explain how all this works is from the ground up. Okay, so because the situation is so fucking dumb. And I'm sad because if you think about VODs and clips are like memories, right? The reason that I started this YouTube channel was because I wanted to keep a record of what I do. Because I think that history is really important in a career like this. It makes me very sad that dozens and dozens of streamers have deleted their clips and VODs without understanding the system because Twitch, in their infinite wisdom, told everybody that they should do so. That really blows because now people are losing literally months and years of memories of their life because Twitch could not be asked to put a single fucking thing in to their system where they would remove a small part of the offending VODs or give streamers the ability to edit VODs instead of just outright delete them. And I posted this. I posted a tweet about this, which said, imagine putting a feature in Twitch VODs where a streamer could edit and mute a small section of it. Nah, let's just tell them to delete all their VODs and clips in a career's worth of memories. Twitch had years to address this. Okay, and the well actuallys responded with, well, the streamer should know the law, and that they shouldn't have played the copyrighted music, and it's their fault. Okay, that's true, right? But that doesn't mean that they should have to go through every single one of their clips and VODs and delete everything because that's the only option to do because there is no way to search through your VODs or to mute specific things. Now, I'm going to explain to you in this talk why you don't have to do that, okay? Because of the way that DMCAs work. Right? The way the way the system is working, and for that matter, everyone thinks this is the DMCA apocalypse. Holy fuck, it's not. You haven't even seen the DMCA apocalypse yet. It hasn't even begun. It hasn't even begun because there's only one company that did 2 songs, and you're about to get. If you think that this is bad, that a bunch of streamers got a strike for some fucking 50-cent song. The ass pounding that's going to come from when Warner Brothers and when Universal and when the big guys come in, the dicking that you're going to get, you can't even imagine. Now, if you want to get an idea of how DMCAs work, you can go watch my video on how DMCAs work. Okay, I literally posted a 40-minute video 2 months ago because I knew that this was going to happen. Okay, so you can do that. That's not what we're going to talk about here. Let's go over what has happened so far. Okay, there is a group called the RIAA. Okay, the RIAA is the Recording Industry Association of America. Yes, that's what it is. Okay. They control a lot of really big songs. So a big artist like 50 Cent and $2 and 7 Chains and 39 Cats and whatever you kids are interested in, all those people are under these major recording groups, okay? I don't know what kind of music you kids listen to these days. I don't care, but they're all under these groups, okay? There is RIAA has been infamous throughout the years issuing copyright strikes for music that they have that has appeared in other places without licensing. And namely, this has been a big problem in conjunction with other large companies like Warner Brothers and Universal on places such as YouTube, where YouTube has literally had to revamp their entire system in order to address this problem. And Twitch will have to do much the same thing, which we'll get into here. So what happened on Twitch over the last couple of days, over this weekend, was I believe there was 2 songs, but let's just say it was 2 to 5 songs, were flagged by an automatic bot that went through all streamers, and I think it was all major streamers' clips, so people above a certain viewer count, and then issued automatic DMCA strikes to Twitch, okay? As a result, Twitch issued strike warnings to these creators. So Twitch issuing strike warnings to these creators basically means you get an email. It says, you did bad by playing this song. It is removed, okay? And a strike is on your account. And a strike is bad. Sign Twitch. Smile. Okay. So then a bunch of streamers go to Twitter and say, what do? We don't want these strikes. And Twitch AMs and support responds, just delete all your VODs and clips, lol. And then everyone does it. So this is what happened. This is actually what happened. We have to understand what actually happened in this process, okay? Before we actually begin this whole talk. This is literally what happened, all right? So the first thing to understand about copyright is that literally everything that is created as a individual piece of work, okay? Every music thing, every art, every picture, every photo, every video, everything you ever do is subject to copyright, okay? And the way that copyright works is through a system of licensing. Someone owns the rights to a song. Let's just take one song, okay? A song. Someone owns the rights, the copyright to this song. So the way that the Recording Industry Association of America, what they do when they sign someone, okay, when they sign someone like 50 Cent or $2, whoever you guys like or whatever, they license the ability that they own that content for a certain amount of time or indefinitely, and they own the copyright of it. They buy that copyright from a artist, okay? It's originally the artist. You can give your copyright to anybody else via written permission. You can also, if it's your copyright, give somebody permission to broadcast or use that. And then there's a whole other sector called Creative Commons that is basically a like copyright free intentionally. Okay. So if you do not own the copyright to something, you are in violation if you are playing that without permission. Okay? This exists for so if you take a website like Twitch, okay, literally everything on this platform, literally everything is subject to copyright in some form. Whether it be the video games you're playing, those IPs and those copyrights are owned by Riot Games, by Nintendo. We've had problems with that before. The songs that you're playing, those IPs are owned by those song creators, those respective creators, and things like that. And on and on and on and on. Okay, theoretically, if Blizzard wanted to, right, they could copyright strike every single Overwatch streamer or every single StarCraft 2 streamer. Riot Games could copyright strike every League of Legends streamer. These are just things they could do if they wanted to do it any day, right? They're not going to do it because they acknowledge the symbiotic relationship that there is between a streamer and a video game player, and also because it would be a shit show publicly. But they can do it. It's their copyright. They can do it. They are not licensing us as broadcasters for that copyright. It is just the way it is. Okay, so once you understand that, okay, you understand the very basics of how copyrights work. And you realize that, number one, everything is a copyright. And number two, everybody on Twitch is beholden to this system. There is some debate that copyright laws are outdated. There is no doubt that within the context of the internet, it is. Okay, so if you want it, so let's say that you have a copyright. Okay, let's say you have the rights to something. So you have the rights to something. Okay, and someone else is using your product or service, let's say your song. We'll just use the song, okay? How do you handle this? So what you do is you issue a DMCA request. So a DMCA request, or a DMCA takedown, okay, is a federal level. It's an American federal level law, okay, that allows you to issue a request backed by federal law for someone else to remove something, okay? And DMCA stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is like when this like first came into being somewhere in the 90s or something. Okay. So companies that use other people's content have a thing called safe harbor, which means that they have a certain amount of behaviors and things that they need to do to continue being within the realm of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And understanding that is the most important part of understanding this process, because if we understand that, we understand what's going wrong here with like Twitch and everything. So anyone can issue a DMCA request. It doesn't matter as a broadcaster if you're in Europe, Japan, Africa, doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter because Twitch is a United States-based corporation out of California. So everybody on Twitch and YouTube operates within United States law. And for the purposes of all business and all copyright basically on the internet, we are basically operating off of U.S. law because all these companies are based in the U.S., so go USA, America, etc. Other countries don't matter when it comes to this. So even if you're European, like, right, you can still be issued a DMCA request. You would have to take that down. You'd be beholden to the rules of the company. Obviously, nothing can happen to you legally. There'd be some international stuff that can go on there. Maybe it can, but like the amount of work that would have to be issued for a company to pursue you legally if you were in another country. But you can be removed from the platform, which for all extents and purposes is like why we are so focused on this. So if you issue a DMCA request, there is a process you go through. It's usually very easy. YouTube has such a thing where it's like, if you can just Google YouTube, file a DMCA request, right? And you'll see that it'll go to submit a copyright notice, right? And you'll have like a little thing. Making a false claim is technically under perjury, federal perjury. However, people make false claims all the time, and there's no federal oversight to actually proceed to actually oversee it. And for this reason, it's kind of like it's like there's a lot of false claims, and I don't think that the context of that is important for this explanation. But you'll see that you can go through this process, copyright infringement notification, and you can put someone, so I appear without permission, copyright infringement, somebody's using my trademark, right? You can go through this process via YouTube, or you can go through this process via Twitch, and you can get this done. And it is pretty easy to do, okay? once a DMCA request is received, we're just going to go through how Twitch has to receive it. Okay. Listen to this part. This is very, very important, especially for all broadcasters and content creators. Okay. Twitch is required to stay in safe harbor to remove that content from their platform. And I will just do this standard disclaimer here. I am not a lawyer. Okay. I'm not an entertainment lawyer. Although I have talked for hours about this with lawyers, I have worked in my own companies to deal with this. I work with influencers every day to have to deal with this, so I'm very familiar with this. I haven't passed the bar, so in that sense, you can't take this as legal advice or things like that. It's just a dude on the internet. There's your disclaimer. Thanks. Don't sue. So DMCA request is received. Twitch is required to stay within safe harbor. Safe harbor meaning that for them to protect themselves and stay within the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, meaning the feds don't come after the business themselves. They have to do these certain behaviors. Twitch is required to stay within safe harbor to remove that content from their platform. Okay. So this is really important. This is the part, listen up. This is the part that Twitch is required to do by law. Everything else that happens after this is Twitch's decision. Twitch then issues a strike on a user's account and a warning. And in theory, after 3 of these, you're banned permanently from the platform. The enforcement section of this is up to Twitch. And for this reason, every single person that is deleting their clips and videos right now is super silly. Does this make sense? Because right now, Twitch will, as they are required by law, remove that content for you. They will then issue you a strike, right? But the enforcement of those strikes is up to Twitch as a platform. And there is no way that Twitch is going to eliminate 90 to 95% of their partners through an enforcement act that they're not required by law to do, because they will not have a business. Okay? So what Twitch is going to do is they are going to talk about this internally, and then they're going to implement features that make this easier for people to remove stuff. So the people that are panic deleting clips and stuff like that, there is, in my mind, in my opinion, there is no way these users get banned, because there is no reason why Twitch would do that as a business. Okay? So everyone is overreacting like crazy. Okay? That's number one. Let's start there, because the enforcement of this protocol is up to how Twitch wants to do it. Now, obviously, Twitch wants to have some kind of enforcement to stay within safe harbor, A, and to B, they don't want people just streaming movies and stuff like this, okay? But in a situation like this, where mass copyright strikes go out for content that is like 3 or 4 years ago, there is no way that Twitch is going to issue bans to all of their top creators for that. They would not have a business. They would lose. Like, if you understood how important, so the top broadcasters on this website, there are individual broadcasters on this website that make up like 1 to 2% of the total of Twitch's audience at one given time, right? Which is like, imagine if you had one customer that like had like 1 to 3% of your business, right? That's like a massive customer at the level that Twitch is as a multi-billion-dollar company, right? So it makes no logical sense that Twitch will enforce bans across the board for people to at this level. So this is not going to happen the way that people think it's going to happen, right? Because what instead is going to happen is Twitch is going to do something like exactly what I recommended, which is like they're going to, but to be very clear, again, if you do get DMCA struck, Twitch is required to remove that from the platform, and thus in doing so, the DMCA is removed, right? So legally, you've done what you need to do, okay? The way that a DMCA works is the DMCA is issued. Hey, that's my content. Remove that content. Okay, that's done. Okay, enforcement is up to you. You've complied. You're done. Then you don't need to delete all of your clips, right? You just delete the clips that are within enforcement. It is the strikes that people are afraid of. So for Twitch to issue, and to stay with the 3 strike and you're out rule in this situation will cripple their business. And there is no way they can do it, okay? So they will remove their enforcement protocols for them to do that. It just makes sense to do that. Okay, there's much more to talk about, though. Let's keep going. There are a group of streamers who, in my opinion, are vulnerable, I think, to taking a hit from this, okay? So first of all, if you play the top 200 popular artists, stuff like this, my argument is you should never do this. You should know better. As like ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? Like, oh, I didn't know that I couldn't murder that dude is not going to get you off with the police, right? And in the same way, if you are playing top 200 Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Rihanna songs, and then you're like, weird, these huge organizations came after me, right? In this situation, if you have done nothing but played top 200 or best of songs for the past 5 years, you may want to seriously consider deleting your content before you get issued 5,000 DMCA requests. Now, to be clear, I still don't think that Twitch will ban the top streamers in these categories. If you're a smaller streamer, then I would probably delete in these cases, okay? And one of the things that I'm going to do as a conjunction to this talk is I'm going to build a resource list for what you should do. There are a ton of solutions to this problem, but I don't defend nor understand the people that are posting that are posting up like very, very popular songs. If you're playing like huge hits and things like that, you are going to reap what you sow, quite literally, right? And in that case, if you are a major broadcaster, you need to evaluate that with your independent AM. And if you're a smaller streamer, obviously stop doing that shit. Okay, this has been the case for 7 or 8 years. It is Twitch's fault that they haven't educated broadcasters on this or adequately implemented tools to fix this. It's your fault that you're streaming top 200 music, and you are going to be liable for that, right? This is your stream. It's your broadcast. So you have to be aware of that. Let's talk about DEFCON levels, okay? So level 1 is you are gonna get the boot, okay? Level 2 is less, like level 2 through 5 is less variations of the boot, where like level 5 is completely safe. You will never get DMCA'd. Okay? So level 1 is any top 500 songs, any record labels, any Rihanna, 50 Cent, 20 Cent, $2, 8 Chains, 50 Cats, okay? All these people, you should never play this stuff on stream, period, okay? And for the people that did, if you are a large broadcaster, even now, in my personal opinion, keep in mind that Twitch could go crazy. You might get temp banned for this. I would wait for Twitch to implement features that make this process easier, as it is legally required for them to do so. They will undoubtedly spend a lot of resources doing this. That's A, okay? I would wait. I would not delete all your VODs and clips. I think that's ridiculous. As a smaller streamer, you probably aren't going to be protected because you don't generate Twitch as much revenue. So the fact of the matter is that if you are playing these songs, stop immediately and then consider deleting your content or saving it, really, like save it somewhere else. So that's level 1, okay? Just talking about that right there, okay? So if you are streaming 50 Cats, stop that shit. Don't do it again. And those are your answers, okay? Now, I consider where I hover here is like level 3 and 4, okay? Level 3 and 4 is like lo-fi, chill wave, YouTube content creators, indie artists, Suicide Sheep, right? These are people that in theory could DMCA you, but probably never will. They won't go, and if they do DMCA you, again, it's like a simple request. Most of the music that I listen to falls within this category. I do make it a point to go find like Creative Commons stuff, and a lot of my stuff is Creative Commons, but not all of it. But I never play like very popular or like top level stuff, right? So when you're listening to music on my stream, you're typically listening to music that's like from YouTube, that's like either Creative Commons or like very well near it. It's like people that produce like free music. Like I listen to like a lot of like Suicide Sheep, like Creative Commons type of stuff. Okay. So you could, and within this category also is like game music. Game music is a very, very safe place to be. Okay. Because game music is like, stuff like if you're listening to like Legend of Zelda, right? That's getting played on Twitch from people that play the video game all of the time. The exception here would be, music within games that is specifically licensed for use by that game only. So for a very classic example, this would be Grand Theft Auto, right? Which is Grand Theft Auto is actually a level 1. So we'll put that up there. But all other stuff, like if you listen to like the entire Chrono Cross soundtrack, right? That's a level 4. In theory, Sony could DMCA you for that. They're never going to do it. Like, so I know many game streamers who just, and this is a very easy way around this if you're like a small creator, just listen to video game playlists, right? You'll probably never get DMCA'd. In theory, you could, but again, that music is being played through those games on Twitch. It's generally fine. So you're and like, again, I don't want to give you the legal advice that you can do this. You're still breaking the law by the law of the letter, okay? But in the personal opinion of Devin Nash, and not the legal advice of Devin Nash, the law is fucking dumb as fuck. And you can basically do this. You're never gonna get caught for this shit. Like it's never gonna be anything. Okay, so you can safely stream game music and lo-fi and showwave and stuff like that. You're never gonna reach a you're never gonna have a problem. But let's talk about level 5. Okay, so level 5 is completely safe, and you are actually following the law of the letter. Okay. So there are many resources to do this. And as a public service to the people, I will devote the rest of this stream, as well as tomorrow's stream if we don't get done with it, to building a list of free resources for you for music that you can listen to, a literal catch-all of music that you can listen to for free within level 5, completely safe. My opinion is that nobody should be within level 1. I don't think anybody should be playing songs from the top 2 to 500. I have felt this way for years. Okay. And I kind of also think that like Twitch should have done more due diligence to like again, a very simple thing, right, is allowing broadcasters to mute sections of their VODs. Another thing I want to address in particular is this clip, which is at the top of LSF right now.
Interesting here and important to note, and this is where your tinfoil hats are going to come on, is that there is actually a company out there, and I believe I mentioned this to you yesterday. There's a company out there that's monitoring most streams on Twitch, and its 2 big investors include Universal Music Group and I think one more. I forget what the other one is. Well, I think it might be Warner. It is Warner. And so Universal Music Group and Warner have invested in this company that's monitoring every stream on Twitch. And they have the ability to issue live DMCAs. They just haven't done it yet. And so it's super important to note that that level of enforcement hasn't even come through yet, where you're live and you're getting taken down live for playing music. Right now, we're just seeing clips and VODs.
All right. I don't think this is going to happen the way that the lawyer said that was going to happen. At our agency, we have been working on technology in order to monitor live streams. It is extremely difficult to do. Number 1. Number 2, there's a lot of nuance to catching this stuff live and to like making a claim live and making a DMCA automatically issued via live. It would take me a very long time, and it's out of the scope of this of this talk to explain this. But it's safe to say that there is just no reason right now why there's no reason right now why any streamer on Twitch should be playing popular songs. I would not worry about this situation. Fuslie could have not deleted all of her clips and all of her VODs. She would have been fine. The only person that understands what's going on right now is Fed. Here is what I think will likely happen. Right now, Warner Bros., Universal, etc., record labels are gearing up to do more copyright strikes on VODs and clips in the future. Okay, this is 100% going to happen. Okay, so multiple copyright strikes like this will be issued over a short period of time in a short period of time. Okay, so what will happen is thousands of streamers, most likely, will receive notices simultaneously. Very similar to what the RIAA did today, okay? Then Twitch will be required to remove all content that has been flagged by DMCA, okay? Twitch will remove this content. And simultaneously send warnings to each broadcaster and possibly strike them. Pretty much this entire thing that we've talked about here, everything that I've set up until this point is automated. There will be almost no manual process here. Okay? Okay. So it is at this point that we reach the problem. What streamers are worried about is the strikes, because the current rule on Twitch is that if you get 3 strikes, you are out of the game, permanently banned on Twitch permanently, okay? But at this point, Twitch will have to issue multiple copyright strikes across the board to thousands of creators. And enforcing their 3-strike rule will cause thousands of creators to get banned. If this happens, Twitch will not have a business. Okay? Period. Because that's the end of it. That's literally the end of their business overnight. Okay? So they're not going to do that, in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. Okay? They're not going to do that. Okay, so what are they going to do? All right. What they're going to do is they're going to approach the record companies and say, oh yeah, I'm not a lawyer, smile. Sorry. Okay. They're going to approach record companies and say, hey, we fucked up. We don't have a system for this. We are implementing XYZ system. And in this time frame, we will have solved this problem. This may or may not happen in court. Okay? This exact thing happened on YouTube. The exact thing happened on YouTube. Okay? Exact thing. Literally, this is, again, remember I told you, pattern recognition. These things have happened before. Okay? So then what's going to happen is Twitch will do what they're legally supposed to do within Safe Harbor. They will remove all of the content. And then they will grant amnesty to the vast majority of content creators who would have otherwise gotten banned for the 3-strike rule. And the way that they will stay within due diligence is they will implement automated systems and manual systems to prevent this in the future. Labels will argue that Amazon, as a parent company, they should have had a system in place. Yes, as the labels argued that YouTube and Google had systems in place. But your choice is, you have 3 choices. We are busting out the heavy guns for this, okay? You have 2 circles, okay? Circle 1 is lose your fucking business, all right? Circle 2 is fight in court and pay some money to record people and implement systems to show you are within safe harbor for DMCA. Which one are they going to choose? Okay? Like, they're not going... Like, anybody on this chat that literally thinks that they are going to ban 2,000...